The Book of Proverbs. Chapter 1. Proverbs 1-33. Chapter 1. Proverb 1. The Proverbs of Solomon the son of David, king of Israel. This book contains wise sayings from King Solomon, who was the son of King David. Solomon is known as one of the wisest men of his time. His proverbs teach important lessons about life. They help us know the difference between good and bad choices. Solomon's wisdom comes from God. These lessons are meant to help everyone make good decisions. Chapter 1. Proverb 2. To know wisdom and instruction, to perceive the words of understanding. These proverbs are given to teach us wisdom. Wisdom helps us know what to do in different situations. It also teaches us to listen carefully and learn from others. Understanding means knowing the right thing and doing it. When we listen to wisdom, we become smarter and make better choices. These lessons make us grow and become responsible. Chapter 1. Proverb 3. To receive the instruction of wisdom, justice, and judgment, and equity. These proverbs teach us how to be fair and just. They help us understand what is right and wrong. Wisdom also teaches us to treat people fairly, no matter who they are. When we follow these teachings, we make the world a better place. Justice means giving everyone what they deserve. By learning these lessons, we can live in peace with others. Chapter 1. Proverb 4. To give subtlety to the simple, to the young man knowledge and discretion. This proverb teaches that wisdom helps even young or inexperienced people make smart decisions. It gives them the ability to understand things that might seem tricky or confusing. Wisdom also teaches us to think before we act. It helps us avoid making mistakes. Being careful and thoughtful makes life easier. Even if we don't know everything, wisdom helps us make good choices. Chapter 1. Proverb 5. A wise man will hear and will increase learning, and a man of understanding shall attain unto wise counsels. A wise person is always ready to listen and learn more. Even if they know a lot, they understand that there's always something new to learn. Listening to good advice makes them even wiser. They also share what they know with others. By doing this, they help people make good decisions. Wisdom is not just about knowing things, but about always growing and helping others too. Chapter 1. Proverb 6. To understand a proverb and the interpretation, the words of the wise and their dark sayings. This proverb explains that wisdom helps us understand deep and difficult lessons. Sometimes, wise sayings can be hard to understand at first, but with wisdom, we learn what these sayings really mean. It also helps us solve puzzles and figure out life's challenges. Understanding wisdom is like unlocking a secret. It takes time, but it's worth it. Chapter 1. Proverb 7. The fear of the Lord is the beginning of knowledge, but fools despise wisdom and instruction. Loving and respecting God is the first step to becoming wise. When we listen to God, we start to understand the world better. People who ignore wisdom make bad choices. They think they don't need help, but they end up making mistakes. True wisdom comes from trusting God and being open to learning. Without God, wisdom is hard to find. Chapter 1. Proverb 8. My son, hear the instruction of thy father, and forsake not the law of thy mother. This proverb encourages us to listen to our parents' advice. Fathers and mothers guide their children because they want the best for them. When we listen to their wisdom, we learn important lessons. Parents have more experience, so they help us avoid mistakes. Ignoring their advice can lead to trouble. Respecting their guidance helps us grow strong and wise. Chapter 1. Proverb 9. For they shall be an ornament of grace unto thy head, and chains about thy neck. When you follow your parents' wisdom, it's like wearing a crown on your head. This wisdom makes you look beautiful on the inside and out. It's also like wearing a necklace that shows everyone you make good choices. Wisdom from parents brings honor and respect. It helps people trust and admire you. Listening to good advice makes your life better. Chapter 1, Proverb 10. My son, if sinners entice thee, consent thou not. This proverb warns us not to follow people who want to do bad things. Sometimes others might try to get us to join them in making bad choices, but we need to say no when someone encourages us to do wrong. Just because others are doing it doesn't make it right. If we follow them, we will get into trouble. Staying away from bad influences helps keep us safe. Chapter 1, Proverb 11. If they say, "Come with us, let us lay wait for blood. Let us lurk privily for the innocent without cause." This proverb describes people who want to hurt others for no reason. They try to trick or harm innocent people. Their plans are dangerous, and they act like predators. They are mean and want to bring pain. Chapter 1, Proverb 12. Let us swallow them up alive as the grave, and whole as those that go down into the pit. This proverb warns us to stay away from these predators who want to harm and bring pain to us. Joining them leads to nothing but destruction and regret. Chapter 1, Proverb 13. We shall find all precious substance. We shall fill our houses with spoil. This proverb shows how evil people believe they will gain a lot by stealing from others. They think they will get rich and have many treasures by doing wrong. But what they don't realize is that stealing only brings temporary happiness. The things they take will never satisfy them. In the end, they lose much more than they gain. Dishonesty never leads to real success. Chapter 1, Proverb 14. Cast in thy lot among us. Let us all have one purse. Evil people try to convince others to join them by sharing their stolen goods. They say, "Come with us, and we will all share the riches." But this is a trick, because those who do wrong don't care about fairness. They only want to use others to get what they want. Joining them leads to danger and problems. It's never wise to share in sinful plans. Chapter 1, Proverb 15. My son, walk not thou in the way with them. Refrain thy foot from their path. This proverb advises us not to follow bad people or go where they go. It tells us to stay away from troublemakers. Sometimes it's easy to get caught up in their bad actions, but we must avoid their path. If we do, we will stay away from harm. It's important to choose our friends carefully. Walking on right path keeps us out of danger. Chapter 1, Proverb 16. For their feet run to evil, and make haste to shed blood. This proverb describes how bad people are always in a hurry to do wrong. They rush into evil actions without thinking. They don't care about hurting others, even if it leads to violence. Their actions bring pain and suffering to those around them. Instead of running toward goodness, they chase destruction. In the end, their choices harm both themselves and others. Chapter 1, Proverb 17. Surely in vain the net is spread in the sight of any bird. This proverb compares evil traps to bird traps. Just as birds can see a net being set up, we should be smart enough to see when bad people are trying to trick us. They think they are clever, but their traps can be avoided. If we are wise, we won't fall into their schemes. Being alert and cautious protects us from danger. We must be aware of harmful situations. Chapter 1, Proverb 18. And they lay wait for their own blood. They lurk privily for their own lives. Those who plan to harm others end up hurting themselves. Their evil schemes turn back on them. When they try to trap someone, they fall into the trap they set. Doing wrong never leads to a good ending. In the end, they are the ones who suffer the most. Evil actions always come back to harm those who commit them. Chapter 1, Proverb 19. So are the ways of every one that is greedy of gain, which taketh away the life of the owners thereof. Greedy people will do anything to get more, even if it means hurting others. They care only about money or things, not about people. But in the end, their greed leads to their own destruction. When you put things above people, you lose what really matters. Greed is dangerous and harmful. It never brings true happiness, only loss. Chapter 1, Proverb 20. Wisdom crieth without, she uttereth her voice in the streets. Wisdom is everywhere, calling out to anyone who will listen. It is not hidden or secret, but is available to all. It speaks loudly, asking people to make good choices. Wisdom warns us to do what is right before it's too late. It's up to us to pay attention and follow its call. Those who listen will be guided to a better life. Chapter 1, Proverb 21. She crieth in the chief place of concourse, in the openings of the gates. In the city she uttereth her words, saying, Wisdom speaks in the busiest places, where many people gather. She doesn't hide in secret or speak quietly. Instead, she boldly calls out everyone, even in crowded places. She is always there, trying to get our attention. Wisdom warns us to make the right choices and avoid trouble. She offers guidance to anyone who is willing to listen. Chapter 1, Proverb 22. How long, ye simple ones, will ye love simplicity? And the scorners delight in their scorning, and fools hate knowledge? Wisdom asks, how long will you ignore my teachings? She wants to know why people keep choosing foolishness over knowledge. Some people love being simple and don't want to learn and grow. Others make fun of wisdom, acting like they know better. But this attitude only hurts them in the end. Wisdom is trying to save them from their own bad choices. Chapter 1, Proverb 23. Turn you at my reproof. Behold, I will pour out my spirit unto you. I will make known my words unto you. Wisdom says, if you listen to my correction, I will teach you even more. She promises that if we turn away from bad choices and listen to her advice, she will fill us with understanding. When we are open to learning, wisdom will make her way clear to us. She offers help to anyone willing to change. By listening to wisdom, we can grow and improve. Wisdom is a gift, but we must accept it. Chapter 1, Proverb 24. Because I have called and ye refused. I have stretched out my hand, and no man regarded. Wisdom says she has called out many times, but people ignored her. She reached out to help, but no one paid attention. Instead of listening, people turned their backs on her. They refused her advice and guidance. Wisdom is always available, but we have to choose to listen. Ignoring wisdom leads to missed opportunities and mistakes. Chapter 1, Proverb 25. But ye have said at not all my counsel, and would none of my reproof. This proverb continues to show how people ignore wisdom's advice. Wisdom gave good counsel, but people didn't care. They didn't want to be corrected or learn from their mistakes. They chose to keep going in the wrong direction. Ignoring wisdom's warning leads to trouble. We have to be willing to listen if we want to live wisely. Chapter 1, Proverb 26. I also will laugh at your calamity. I will mock when your fear cometh. When people refuse to listen to wisdom, they will face consequences. It warns them, but if they don't care, they will end up in trouble. When they finally realize their mistake, it will be too late. Wisdom will no longer help them because they chose to ignore her. The bad things they face could have been avoided if they had listened. Ignoring wisdom brings suffering. Chapter 1, Proverb 27. When your fear cometh as desolation, and your destruction cometh as a whirlwind. When distress and anguish cometh upon you. When we ignore wisdom, bad things come like a storm. Fear and disaster will come quickly, like a powerful whirlwind. People will feel lost and confused, unsure of how to fix their mistakes. Without wisdom, problems grow bigger and scarier. Ignoring wisdom makes life harder. Wisdom tries to prevent this, but when we reject her, we face trouble on our own. Chapter 1, Proverb 28. Then shall they call upon me, but I will not answer. They shall seek me early, but they shall not find me. Wisdom says that people will eventually call for her when they are in trouble, but by then it will be too late. They ignored her when she was available, and now they are desperate for help. They will search for wisdom, but she will not be there. Wisdom is something we should seek before trouble comes, not after. Waiting too long means missing the chance to be wise. Chapter 1, Proverb 29. For that they hated knowledge, and did not choose the fear of the Lord. This proverb explains why people end up in trouble, because they did not love knowledge or respect God. They chose to ignore wisdom and follow their own path. Not respecting God and his teachings leads to bad decisions. When people reject knowledge and wisdom, they lose the chance to lead a good life. Following God brings wisdom, but rejecting him brings trouble. Chapter 1, Proverb 30. They would none of my counsel. They despised all my reproof. This proverb emphasizes that people refused to listen to wisdom and rejected her advice. Even when wisdom tried to correct them, they didn't care. They didn't want to hear anything that might change their minds or stop them from doing wrong. By ignoring wisdom, they miss out on learning important lessons. Rejecting correction leads to more mistakes and problems. Listening to advice helps us grow. Chapter 1, Proverb 31. Therefore shall they eat of the fruit of their own way, and be filled with their own devices. People who ignore wisdom will face the consequences of their actions. They will eat the fruit of their bad choices, meaning they will experience the results of their foolishness. When people follow the wrong path, they get what they deserve. Their bad decisions lead to trouble and suffering. They can't blame anyone but themselves. Wisdom warns them, but they choose the wrong way. Chapter 1, Proverb 32. For the turning away of the simple shall slay them, and the prosperity of fools shall destroy them. When people turn away from wisdom, they bring harm to themselves. Foolish people think they are doing fine, but in the end, their bad decisions destroy them. Even if they seem successful for a while, their foolishness will catch up with them. Prosperity without wisdom is dangerous. True success comes from making wise choices, not from ignoring wisdom. Chapter 1, Proverb 33. But whoso hearkeneth unto me shall dwell safely, and shall be quiet from fear of evil. This verse provides a hopeful promise. If we listen to wisdom, we will live in safety and peace. When we follow wisdom, we avoid many dangers and troubles. We won't have to fear bad things happening to us because wisdom guides us to make the right choices. Wisdom protects us and brings calmness to our lives. Listening to wisdom leads to a happy and peaceful life.